Hello and welcome to our vlog. I'm Ewan Calder and this is Northern Recycling Solutions.
4, 3, 2, 1!
Today we're in the top yard. We use this area for storing surplus equipment, skips, parking lorries and vans, so on. Everything that we don't need on a day-to-day basis, so that the main yard is just purely operational and we're not tripping over all the bits and bobs. The reason we're here is Jamie's about to arrange for his new porta cabin offices for himself and Chris to be loaded. The Patterson's lorry, we're going to get to that in a few minutes. But we're also going to be talking this week about we've had a new misting system installed, which is fantastic, making a big difference for the dust problems we were having on the picking line. The roof is on the zap shelter, which is brilliant. We're almost there. We're finishing that. We're getting ready for concrete this week, so I thought we'd show you what that looks like. We're getting the yard prepared, and I love concrete because when you see the shots later on, you'll see that we've got a rough bit of ground, undulating, unusable. This time next week we're going to have a beautiful flat surface, nice and tidy and very usable space, and always kind of pleased to see that progressing. So that's the main topics for this week. But first, let's talk about a challenge we've been facing this week. Like all good businesses, we work extremely hard to deliver excellent customer services. We listen, we advise, we apply a can-do attitude, and if we get it wrong, we fix it quickly. So, but there's other variables in that, including lorries. When we started the business, all we could afford were old second-hand lorries. We worked with them, built it up, and now we've got 10 lorries, and all of them were bought brand new on maintenance contracts with the manufacturers. But that doesn't necessarily solve the problem. Let's go and have a look at Shane, see how he's getting on. Instead of being out at customer premises delivering skips and earning money, Shane is stuck in the yard. Our brand new £106,000 DAF skip lorry has been playing up intermittently, giving us a real headache, travelling all the way to a customer site but randomly unable to do the job of lifting a skip. Now the skip lifts are completely dead. Shane, get yourself off to the dealer and we'll see what they can do. So this is us round the back end of the zap shelter, and I'm delighted it's now finished. You can see the canopy is on. This will be the plasterboard bay, and on the other side will be our dry mixed recyclables. Project's gone really well, a bit longer than we planned, and a couple of snags, not unsolvable, but we now have a bit of water coming through the walls because there's a gentle downslope on the way we've built it on the concrete. That's running through the walls, but we've got a plan to fix that, and I don't think it's going to be expensive. So this is us in warehouse 2, or what we refer to as the Resource Recovery Centre, and we're just about to show you our latest little investment, try and help the guys have a more pleasant working environment. We installed the pick and line, as you know, about October, November it was commissioned and put into use. We worked it all the way through winter and we didn't have any issues. It worked really well, it was working fine, but as the summer came along, we started to learn, as you can kind of see from the waste coming in is drier, more dusty, and it became really challenging working environment for the guys and girls in the pick and line. Basically it was just clouds of dust and it was very unpleasant. So what we've done is we've invested in a misting system, and it fires really fine droplets of water up into the air. There's like 20 nozzles at each of the key points where there's movement of waste, so when we're loading the waste or when the waste is dropping from one conveyor to another, and it's really made a huge difference. We just installed it at the start of the week. It's basically almost eliminated the dust from the process. So we're going to show you how it works. So unfortunately today, the team are working elsewhere in the facility. So what we're going to do is we're just going to show you the kind of level of mist that's generated. And maybe in a future episode, we'll have the machine loading it and the misting on, and you can kind of see the benefit of how it works. But let's have a look now. So as you can see, we've got, it looks like a big cloud in the air there, and it's just the water vapour. There's no dust involved, there's no machines working, that's purely water vapour you're seeing there. And that latches onto the dust and just brings the dust down to earth and settles it, and makes it, by the time it gets through to the picking line, the dust is eliminated from the process. So I'm aware we've talked a lot about building projects. As you probably worked out, a wee passion close to my heart. I love building and developing the site. So maybe a bit more on waste today. This is a typical day in the waste transfer centre. We've just had a skip dropped. We do a lot for the aquaculture. You know, being in the Highlands, there's a lot of aquaculture customers. So this is a skip from one of the local factories. Predominantly meant to be general waste, destined for energy from waste. As you can see, there's quite a lot of cardboard, there's some wooden pallets and so on, so excuse the pun, but we're going to fish them out. They'll be recycled, and then the rest will end up in the energy from waste pile. So it turns out a faulty PTO is what's causing the issue. The garage have had the lorry overnight. Customers are desperate for skips. Are we good to go, Shane? Back to the garage.
So these are our latest purchases. We've gone down to Elland, which is half an hour from Leeds, to go get them. When I say we, I did. I had to get up at 6 in the morning, thanks to Dad for putting me into that. I just drove the whole way in 7 hours, so it was quite a long day and a long night, because I had to cut the stairs down because they wouldn't fit on the lorry. So they had to go in the back of a van, and the 2 units just went down with the lorry. I think you can probably guess which ones are going to be mine and Chris's office by the way we put the effort into them, because you'll find that the meeting room one's probably still a bit tarty. So we've hired in a hand mixer, and we've done pads of about 200 ml deep, using a laser level, so it just beeps when it's at a level. So we've allowed that to set for about a week now, so it's just to make sure we're covered for any sort of dips and making sure we're on a solid structure, because there'll be 8 people in there sometimes, so that's what we've done to prepare for it.
Here we go.
Well, that's excellent.
For the first time ever, we've actually had a skip come back that's had a fire in it. As you can see, the label and the paint's all melted off. The lid there would have been folded back because when they're in use the lid's open, so that had been lying on top of the roof and it's been melted. We've had to take it back and we'll have to send it off for refurbishment. customer believes it's a large facility that one of their staff threw a cigarette in the skip. They don't know for sure. Fire is one of the biggest worries for the waste industry. It's a real concern, more that if materials, in particular batteries, come into the waste recycling plant, especially lithium batteries or vapes, and the amount of fires that are happening in the UK in waste plants is very concerning, and batteries are the main cause. Okay, the issue's been narrowed down to a software conflict between the truck and the PTO. Surely. Back to the dealer. As I referred to earlier, we're doing some concrete next week, and this is the area. So as you can see, big open area, it's good ground we're working on, it's sand and cobble, but it's going to need to be levelled, and we're going to need some screed shutters in just to manage the concrete. We can't pour the whole width in one go, so we're going to have 2 runs going down here. So I just thought you'd be interested to see, this is the before, and we'll show you the after, a nice finished concrete usable yard. So as you can see as well, we're getting very close to the edge of our space. So this is going to complete this corner of the yard, and we're going to be able to drive right round a nice circle, get all the lorries in and out, and just opens up the whole working space. This is us halfway through the day. The morning. We've had 3 lorries of concrete in so far. It's going reasonably well. We're working hard to try and beat the rain. It's going to be pouring rain in about an hour, so we're hoping the next 2 lorries come and we can get the concrete in and sorted. Once it's in, it's yard concrete. I'm not too worried about the rain being on top of it. That is the goal. Normally, Jamie's helping us with this, but he's pretending to have a sore leg, so he's called off with a hamstring injury from his football. So we're having to work with others in the team, but we're getting on quite well.
Let's get started.
Life is good.
For those of you that know your concrete, you'll see that we haven't got rebar, the steel mesh through this, and that's because it's, I don't know if it's that unique now, but it's a special concrete. It's got fibre through it, and the big advantage of that is that we don't have to lay all the steel, which can be quite hard work and take up an extra day of preparation when we're trying to get the concrete in quick. So there's fibre all the way through the concrete, and you can see we're laying it 200 mil deep, nice and thick and strong. We don't want to come back to it. I've been to other waste yards. We trip around Scotland we had, and a lot of their concrete was broken up, and the thought of repairing that and going back, it's going to cost them a fortune. So we wanted to get it in right the first time, spend a bit more money up front, and hopefully we'll get 10-15 years without any trouble. It's called PAV2 with Durris fibre. That's us almost done now. It's gone in pretty well, all things considered. Looks like we've beaten the rain, only just. We've got a wee half lorry load left to put in. That'll be due in about 20 minutes, and we'll just finish off the bit down the bottom where the guys are working there. We've kept off a screed rail to let the lorry in and out, so they're just fitting that in now. Now we're right at the end, and we'll keep the lorry on the outside of that, pouring the concrete in so that we can get the job done. Here comes Shane again. What are you saying? Excellent.
Right, so I thought it was a great idea to have a sort of 2 minutes of me slagging my dad off in this episodes. So you'll notice in this concrete, some of the concrete sat up a bit, so you'll see there's lines going through it sometimes. That's because it's not running along the actual floaters. Down there on Monday's concrete, he let a pipe get burst from the driver running over it, so that was the only one thing he had to watch out for, and he didn't manage it. We've got the See the roller, how that side controls it, so the roller can spin both ways. So what was happening last summer was he was picking up the roller, pushing it the wrong way by accident, and it would just whack me in the shins. So that caused a few fallouts, so he's not on that side anymore when I'm doing it. So as I said, 90% of our building was finished. The other 10% is these bays need to come off the end. We had a slight problem with this, was because when we were doing our drains for this picking line that we've got built, we had the concrete going into the drains, so one bit's higher than the other. So you'll see the blocks have been sat at a gap. So we've had to build these concrete foundations for the blocks to go on, which again we had another problem with, because you'll see there's a hole going down the middle of it. That's because there was water just sitting at the bottom of this hole because of the concrete again going down. We've built up a platform. Hopefully now that'll keep a straight wall and it'll be nice and secure, and the water can run through that little gap into its designated drain. When we were building this wall for the picking line with the Lego blocks, when we build Lego blocks, we try to use any good ones, so ones that haven't been chipped from coming off the lorry. We've got 2 down the back here that we're getting used for this wall, but Dad's fault. We started building too high and went too far, and these Lego blocks got stuck, so he spent a load of money on these blocks and they're stuck behind the wall.
As you can tell, we're having a bit of fun with Shane and our amateur acting skills on the lorry breakdowns, but it is actually a real issue, and that was a kind of recreation of a true kind of sequence of events. Delivering excellent customer services is how we've managed to build our business, and so what we're trying to do is give you a flavour of what that actually means behind the scenes to make that happen. We're lucky we've got a fantastic team here, and Susan in logistics, and work with some good maintenance companies. That lorry was actually off the road for about 4 days. Luckily, North Scott, the local DAF dealer, did a great job, pushed DAF for a solution, and we were able to get back out and get on with work. In terms of the financial impact on the business that kind of experience has, is we've got a lorry we spent a lot of money on out of action, but you've also then got your other team members and lorries who are doing extra hours to make sure that there's no impact on the customer. So when you're setting up your lorry fleet, there's a lot of considerations. It can be huge money. So when we started out, we bought some second-hand lorries and got through, but our maintenance costs were through the roof, the reliability was poor, and so on. So over the years, we've built up our finances, we've built up our confidence and our business levels, and we've been able to buy new lorries. On the whole, most of them are new. In fact, all of them were bought new. They're all on maintenance contracts with the manufacturers, so that gives us a bit of a reassurance that they've been looked after, and also where our costs are going to be. But it is big money. So just this week, I've had to sign an order for a brand new bin lorry. That's £225,000. That was a bit of a unique moment. We're test driving a tractor unit that can take the waste up and down the road. We're looking at various options, fuel efficiency and so on, but that new lorry is going to be somewhere around 130,000, 140,000 depending on the manufacturer. Then you've got your trailer, which is between 60 and 80,000. So I'm just trying to give you a flavour for the kind of investment that you need to make in the recycling business to kind of make things work. As you're making that kind of level investment, you're hoping for a bit of reliability, a bit of security, make your life a bit easier for yourself, the team and the drivers and customers. But as you've seen, a wee bit of fun, but the true experience, that's not always the case. But we could talk about vehicles for a long time, probably hours and hours on vehicles. So we'll stop it there and we'll maybe pick it up again in future episodes. What I'd like to do now is we're almost finishing up for this episode, so I'm going to nip over and see how Jamie and Chris's new offices are looking. I'm actually quite jealous of Chris and Jamie. This is a great view of the yard. That's us at the end of episode 2. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Next time we're going to introduce you to some more of the people involved in the business. And if you'd like to see that, subscribe below and we'll catch you next time.